Realize from your home's equity with a cash-out refinance today. In the last year, average home values have gone up nearly 20%. And with Rocket Mortgage, you can unlock thousands in less than 3 weeks. But you've got to act right now before rates go up. So when you're looking to unlock the cash in your home, Rocket can. Call 833-8ROCKET today or go to rocketmortgage.com to get started. Rates current as of 12/12/21. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030. Call 800-490-1233 for disclosures and cost information.
If you're like me and suffer from toenail fungus, please pay close attention. Nail fungus isn't just a cosmetic problem. It can also be dangerous. But no matter what I tried, it seemed like my fungus would never go away. Then I discovered Crystal Flush, the new FDA-registered at-home treatment. This unique two-step system flushes out fungus at its source and reverses damaged nails. Call now, and for a limited time, you can try Crystal Flush risk-free for 30 days. Call 800-764-9219. That's 800-764-9219.
WWL First News.
Is Albert up
Nicaud
yet?
On your official weather station, WWL.
Not yet.
Mostly sunny conditions through the morning and afternoon hours, and there is a small chance for a few isolated showers through today. Many of us remaining dry, also humid, with highs climbing into the lower 90s this afternoon.
Your local weather expert, WWL TV meteorologist Michelle Morgan, has your coming up.
Good morning.
Hey,
Doug, good morning.
Stole a police car from the Orleans Parish Levee District. WWL TV's Mike McDaniel tells us it had the police department stopping all traffic stops yesterday, fearful that the thief would be trying to pull over motorists to commit more crime.
The thieves drove the cruiser through a locked gate. It was found just before 5 o'clock Saturday afternoon, but police are still searching for the person responsible.
The police vehicle was stolen at approximately 8 a.m. Saturday in the 6900 block of Franklin Avenue. Crime Stoppers is offering a reward for a tip leading to whoever took it. Eyes will be to the skies tonight. If you stay up late, you'll get a celestial treat.
Sunday night should present Louisianans with an ideal view of the lunar eclipse. LSU astronomy professor Jeffrey Clayton says it's a unique occurrence, and he highly recommends making plans to stay up a bit later than usual on Sunday night. He says as long as you're in a dark location with few clouds, you should be able to enjoy the show, and you won't even need a telescope.
Obviously, it's quite spectacular when it's very red. I mean, even today, it's kind of an
WWL First News.
With WWL Sports.
Saints' new rookie wide receiver Chris Olave has been as advertised at rookie minicamp this weekend. The first-round pick and Michael Thomas have been training together since he was drafted by the Saints. Head coach Dennis Allen says Olave is exactly what they saw on tape.
Really fast, smooth in transition, good route runner, and look, ultimately, he's the type of character person that we wanted to bring into the building, and I think that's as important as anything.
Rookie minicamp wraps up later today. OTAs start next week. The Tigers' chances to host a regional dipped after a rough Saturday against Ole Miss, giving up 2 games to the Rebels. An error in each game led to multiple runs by the Rebs. Coach Jay Johnson says there's a silver lining and that he may have found a good spot for pitcher Blake Money.
The numbers probably look better than they do on the surface, but it was good for him to get us 65 pitches in 3 innings and keep us in pretty good shape.
Ole Miss has never swept LSU in Baton Rouge. Tigers and Rebels back in the box later today. Tune in for Game 3 on WWL, AMFM.com, and the Odyssey app. Pre-game begins at 12:30. First pitch is at 1 o'clock. Sean Ross, WWL Sports.
Now, your Garcia Roofing forecast on WWL.
We're looking at another somewhat nice day. It's just going to be rather hot, with temperatures climbing into the lower 90s under mostly sunny conditions. It will be humid, so when you factor in the humidity, it is going to easily feel like the mid-90s across the area. Tonight, expect mostly clear skies with overnight temperatures dipping into the lower 70s. And don't forget, tonight is the total lunar eclipse, and the forecast looks fantastic as we head into tonight to view it. Starting off the work week, another hot and humid day, temperatures in the lower 90s with abundant sunshine and remaining dry. From the local weather expert forecast center, I'm WWL TV meteorologist Michelle Morgan.
And I'm Dave Cohen, WWL First News.
From WWL, the new talk sports powerhouse of the Gulf South, it's All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud. Underwritten by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. Join us on the Oakland Art Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870, or connect anytime, anywhere on the Odyssey app. Now, to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union studios in the heart of New Orleans, here are attorneys Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri.
Hey, good morning, Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. Just call 260-1870 or text us on the Oakland Heart Talk and Text line. Same number. We're on till 10 o'clock. Good morning, Albert.
Hey, Doug, what's up?
Nothing much. We get into the quiet part of the sports season right now. We just have LSU draft, LSU baseball, which was a bad day yesterday. LSU needs today's a must-win for LSU if they will have any hope of hosting a regional. And if they lose today, and they lose again, they're playing Vanderbilt, which they've struggled against the last 3 or 4 years. You could go from wanting to host a super regional to worried about getting into the tournament. So today's a big day. 1 o'clock, pregame, 12:30, first pitch 1, and the Saints all of a sudden are interested in LSU players now. After 15 years, except for maybe Al Wood and Devery Henderson. Quan Alexander. Now we're going heavy with LSU with the Honey Badger, and now we signed Jarvis Landry. It seemed like the Saints have gone from one of the worst wide receiver group in the NFL, which I think last year you could probably say that with certainty are the bottom 5, to maybe the top 7 or 8 receiver groups in the league.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a good pickup. He's a homer. He's going to want to play here. He's from here. A dream come true for a kid, right? I want to go play for my home team, and they're going to pay me a lot of money to do it. And it's not just a charity thing for him. He's going to play for a team that has just about all the pieces in place. So he can certainly contribute right away and make them better. And it's going to be a fun season. Again, it all rests on Jameis, right? So and it's a maturity level that if he has a couple of first good games, 1 or 2 games coming out the chute, because the Saints traditionally have usually struggled in those first 1 or 2, 3 games. They have, a lot of times in the last 6-7 years, even with Drew Brees at the helm, they've struggled, maybe going 1-2 in the first 3 games most of the season. So if he can get off to a good start, build some confidence, have some receivers that can make a play for him, even when the pass isn't where it's supposed to be, they can either go knock it down or come up with it. It's going to make a huge difference in terms of his confidence moving forward. And, I hope he does well, and we'll see what it turns out to be. That's the beauty of sports.
Now the schedule came out this week, and I was wondering, you always go to a game every year, it seems like, an away game. Are you considering going to Cleveland or Philadelphia in December?
Probably not Cleveland or Philadelphia. I don't want to get beat up in Philadelphia. In Cleveland, the old Tennessee Williams comment, right? There's Chicago, San Francisco, and New Orleans, and everywhere else is Cleveland. And so I don't know that it's going to be a whole lot of fun, whole lot to do there. And granted, we'll be with a group of guys. We've been doing this for years, and we'll have fun wherever we go. But I think we want to try to make a city with a lot more to offer. I know the Vegas trip
Halloween weekend is going to be the hot ticket. It's going to be hard to get seats. Oh no, I thought it was. I thought they played in. Okay, I saw it on there, and for some reason, I thought it was away.
Now, if you wanted to, if Cleveland and Philadelphia is not good, you go to Pittsburgh in November.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's
actually,
really not.
I think some friends went to Pittsburgh one year, and now they went with a guy from Pittsburgh, and so he knew where to go, all the haunts, all the places to go see and do, and where to stay away from, and all that sort of thing. So they came back with a real good report from Pittsburgh. But and I mean, I don't mind the cold. I much rather that than the heat. We tried doing Tampa Bay the second week of September one year, and we thought we'd be real smart and buy tickets ahead of time, and we paid a couple $100 for the tickets, and they were selling premier seats for like $20 because it was 90 degrees in the sun. And we found out that nobody goes to Tampa Bay games unless you're in a box with air conditioning. But nobody goes those first 3 or 4 weeks of September because it is sweltering heat and you can't do anything about the heat. I can put a coat on. So I'd much prefer the Pittsburgh in the snow than Tampa Bay in the heat.
Well, it seems to me that the most appealing game, now this would be a Thursday night game, middle of the week, which is not great, to go to Arizona. Phoenix in October, and that would be a good destination. But they're not, it would have been great for LSU. I mean, Saints to play in Las Vegas. Saints would travel, fans would travel great for that.
Oh, yeah.
But actually, LSU opens up against USC, not this Labor Day, but the next Labor Day in Las Vegas, which I'm sure to have 50,000 LSU fans in Las Vegas would be quite a weekend. So, from a travel standpoint, London's probably the most appealing place to go. But domestically, the away schedule, there's no maybe I don't know.
Right, not a big fan of London. It's just a big city. If I'm going to go to Europe, I want to see, the more quaint, historic, and not to say they're not historic things in London, but you go see the changing of the guards and at Buckingham Palace, and a handful of things to see. Otherwise, it's a big, major metropolis, hustling, bustling city, and I'd much rather go to a little village in Italy, or even travel outside of London to go to the small villages around London, sit down, have. I guess I've gotten older, right? To not do a million things on a trip and just go sit and have a little glass of wine or some coffee in the morning and enjoy the day.
Well, when we were in London for the Miami game about 5 years ago. They had they had the Houdads who invaded London, which was quite an invasion. And we were riding on a bus, and they had this hotel that they were having evening tea. And I think they have tea at 3 o'clock. They have trumpets and just a very formal type of event. And so we were at a stoplight, and they had a hotel with a big bay glass window, and you could see everybody having tea. And you look up front, we had distinguished bellhops. You could see it was a English tradition. And then we looked up, and we saw 3 ladies in the window who were Houdads, who covered a lot of geography from the backside, working. And we thought of like saying, this is what happens when loans come to London. So
they were in the restaurant or on the bus?
I was on the bus watching. They were inside.
They were in the restaurant. Okay, right.
It was like tea time, crumpets, and we saw them twerking in the window. And they were, it was the kind of thing that you could not miss, even if you wanted to try to miss it, because of the width of the.
And you still can't unsee it.
No, I can't. But I was thinking that's what happens when New Orleans plays in London. It was an interesting mix because the Who-Dats and the Yats, mixing with with the tradition, I guess the proper sort of, we don't have tea and crumpets at 3 o'clock. We have daiquiris and, you know, uh, crawfish or whatever. So it was just, when I saw that, I said, this is what happens when New Orleans comes.
A little culture shock, isn't it?
Culture shock, but the whole town was like that. It was just really fun. It was a lot of fun that the Who-Dats come and invade London. I think we might we're planning on going.
Yeah, I think probably with the exception of Atlanta, it's who that culture shock almost wherever they go.
Right, absolutely. I think the teams that travel the best, you have Green Bay, Pittsburgh, and the Saints, are probably the teams that travel the best per away game. If the Saints ever play Pittsburgh home, you'll see 15,000 Pittsburgh fans, Atlanta, and also Green Bay. So, but it's everybody says, "Oh, we got a hard schedule, got easy schedule." In the NFL, it's always hard, and you never know. Just because someone was good last year, doesn't mean they're going to be good this year. There's so many variables, so you can't really say, well, that should be a win, that should be a loss, that should be a win, that should be a loss. You really can't do that in the NFL because you just don't know. There's going to be a team that was 6-10, 5-11 last year that's going to be.
And the rosters are so fluid these days too. I mean, the free agency gets people out there, and now all of a sudden, this team that had 3 or 4 superstars, they had to kind of break up the band, and so these guys are now scattered out throughout the NFL, and so a lot of teams may not be what they were the previous year in terms of talent. So it's hard to kind of assess it all and see who's going to be great. Baker Mayfield is still out there.
Sure.
I'm just wondering if maybe he's gotten a little humbled, maybe a little hungrier. I mean, I think the kid's talented and might have what it takes. I would look to see, and I don't know if who could afford him this year. I got to think that he's going to be one of those guys that somebody will pick up either right before the season starts or in the event their star quarterback goes down. But if he was somehow affordable, it would almost be worth it to have him as a backup, and that way all the eggs aren't in the Jameis Winston basket. And there's a quarterback competition.
Well, I think also too the team doesn't want to accept him in the trade right now. His contract right now. And so if you cut him, then you can get it for a reduced amount. Now, one thing I'm looking forward to next year is having Tyra, the Honey Badger, and Charlie Gardner-Johnson in the same defensive backfield. That's going to be,
Did you see the little? I don't know, it was a YouTube video or whatever. But the two of them were in the same backfield, and Chauncey got burned like 3 or 4 different plays, and then they show the Honey Badger like putting his hands up, like, you're in the wrong spot. I can't believe you're doing the wrong thing. And it's like, and somebody said
it's good to have those two back in the lineup again, right? So, but it was kind of more facetious saying that it looks like the Honey Badger, knows where to be on the field, and Chauncey may not. So we'll see how that plays out.
I will tell you what, the Saints did well. I'd rather have I would rather have Honey Badger at about half the price as Marcus Williams, and that's in essence what happened. So that was a good value play.
No, I agree.
And
I hope he can stay out of trouble. I hope he can stay out of trouble being back home with.
Oh, he's fine. He's good.
That same group he used to run with. I hope he doesn't fall back into that.
He's a different guy. So, he's definitely a different guy.
I hope so. I hope so.
I think he's a different guy, and he's done a lot of wonderful things in the last 5 years, and he's resurrected every aspect. He's you forget how young they are, but he's done great.
If he was 40 years old, I think he'd have grown out or whatever. But they are very young, and you just hate to see him fall back into that.
He's good.
That routine with the crowd they probably shouldn't have been.
No, he's beyond that. He's good. He's good. I'm pretty sure of that. All right, let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
WWL is your home for LSU baseball. Today,
okay, we're going to need you to jack up your volume just a little bit.
All right.
12:30, first pitch at 1. Right here on WWL AM FM, WWL.com, and anywhere you go on the Odyssey app. Celebrating a century of broadcasting. For 100 years, WWL Radio has been here for you when it matters most. Here's another moment in history.
It was Mother's Day, 1999.
The charter bus is a custom bus. It was on the way from Laplace to Gulfport, taking casino gamblers to Mississippi. It's completely destroyed. The front, a twisted mass of metal crushed in. Every window in the vehicle is broken out as crews are searching for more injured and dead. We do have a number as many as 10 people here dead on the scene. We have several others still on the bus that have expired.
Bus driver Frank Bedell has died of apparent heart failure nearly 3 months after the fatal charter bus crash that killed 22 people.
Investigators said he was in poor health and high on pot at the time of the crash.
This moment in history brought to you by TrainSouth.com and Home Bank.
Is your Hurricane Ida insurance company still playing games with you or giving you the runaround? Are you still dealing with multiple adjusters, unreturned phone calls, duplicate requests for information, and chronic underpayment, even non-payment? Are you emotionally exhausted? We can help. Call me, Doug Sunseri, longtime WWL radio host and attorney at Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm in Metairie and Mandeville at 504-837-1304. After so many years of you paying insurance premiums, we'll make sure your insurance company pays up.
If you have Medicare, you deserve the best care and coverage available. But how do you know if your Medicare plan offers the quality you need? Check their Medicare star rating. The higher the stars, the better the quality. And People's Health has earned Medicare's highest rating, 5 out of 5 stars for 2022. Don't take my word for it. Take Medicare's. To learn more about People's Health Medicare plans, call 1-855-821-2666 or visit peopleshealth.com.
Following is a commercial announcement.
There's nothing like hearing the songs you love on local radio with no subscriptions and no monthly fees. But there's a new bill in Congress that could stop the music. If passed, this bill would tax your local radio station simply to play the music you love. Text LOCAL to 52886 and ask Congress to support local radio stations. Help us keep you connected to the music, local news, weather, and traffic that you need each day. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. I trust J&J to protect my home and family.
J&J has protected Louisiana homes and businesses for over 50 years. We shield your home from termites, roaches, ants, mosquitoes, and other pests. J&J Exterminating is Louisiana's largest independently owned pest control company. We know what works in Louisiana's climate. Get the shield.
J&J Exterminating.
Yeah. Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety.
Okay, we're going live after this one.
If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-859-3220. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life, call 800-859-3220.
All things legal on WWL-AMFM.com and the Odyssey app. Connect with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers. You know, Big Lou always amuses me. Do you ever see he hangs out at the Caddy Shack down the street from us? You ever see him?
Is that right?
Yeah, he does. He's
Yeah.
and his hair's not real either. It's not. It's not. I just wanted to let you know. He's
I believe that. Mine is.
That's
just letting everybody know in case they got a question about it.
They got a question about it. Yeah. But he's definitely on meds. He definitely needs to get on that treadmill. Big glue. He lowers insurance premium if he did. I guess we sort of been dominated by I guess in the last 8 months with the Hurricane Ida insurance claims, and I guess we've almost talked about that exclusively for the last 8 months, and I guess we'll continue to do it to a certain extent. Just let me ask you, where is a lot of your claims at right now as far as processing, re-inspections, filing suit? Where are you right now, just generally, with a lot of these claims?
Well, they're all over the board. Some have settled, some have come up and paid. Others have issued a tender. And so for those that don't understand, and we explained this a lot earlier on, that an insurance company is required by law to tender an amount or give you an amount that reasonable minds could not dispute would be the value of your claim. And so it's likely to be lower than what you're asking for, but if it's somewhat justified, and even if it's not, they have a duty to tender that amount. They have something, right? So what they did was they went out, they got a lot of folks that had no idea what they were doing in assessing claims and adjusting claims, and they were paying, we're going to give you 5,000, 10,000, little tiny amounts, just so that we could say that, hey, look, we followed the law, we got somebody out there, we relied on this adjuster, and this adjuster told us that your claim was worth $9,000. Not realizing from adjuster standpoint that the claim's really a $100,000 claim, but we're just going to look at it as this amount so we can pay you this tender that we're required by law to do. And then they'll come back and they'll reassess it, and they'll tender you a different amount, right? So that you come back, you give them their $100,000 estimate, they say, okay, we're going to give you another $30,000, so now we gave you 40, and this is all we think we owe you. Okay. At that point, you can accept that other $30,000, right? So you can take that amount of money, or if that was the amount of money the attorney got for you, you can accept that amount in whatever your fee agreement was. But then you can still file suit for the difference. And so at that point, once we've gotten everything we could get for you voluntarily, right, where they just will put the money up, then we turn around, and if it's, have a discussion with the client, obviously. If you're only a few $1,000s apart, it may not be worth it. But if it looks like, you're $50,000 apart, you typically get the green light to say, okay, go file suit. And so we go file suit, and we demand penalties, attorney's fees, make bad faith claims, and then that's when we document the file materials and go through all of the emails and say, hey, look, we sent you this supplement, in December, and you didn't even send an adjuster out until mid-February. Well, that's more than 30 days. You're arbitrary and capricious right there. So we're even entitled to penalties on that second payment that you made because you didn't do it timely. And then it's a low-ball payment, and clearly there are certain damages, and that's where a good adjuster comes in. They'll be able to look at their photographs and say, okay, look, these things were damaged. We pointed this out, and we put it in our estimate, and they ignored it. Even though there's, here's the proof that this is what was damaged, and they just neglected it. And so at that point, they become arbitrary and capricious again, excuse me, in not paying a clear damages as a result of the storm. So that process, may take a while. It may take 6 months to a year. they're moving things forward at a pretty fast pace. So depending how clogged the courts get with them, like you said, we'll go to arbitration. I'm sorry, go to mediation.
Yeah.
And mediate a lot of these claims. And like you said, force these adjusters to sit down and actually look at them and let us point out where things went sour, what they did wrong, and hopefully they'll get some authority to try to get it settled.
Now,
but they're all over the place.
Yeah.
Anywhere in that process, they're settled or suit's been filed.
Well, a lot of these claims also, I guess, let's talk about a lot of the ones that are in the lawsuits. Most of the jurisdictions have a process where the judges are saying before you get into litigation and start into the litigation mode, you have to try to mediate. You have to try to mediate before we're going to let you go further down the road. In other words, I think Jefferson Parish, St. John Parish, federal court in New Orleans, they basically have a program saying, you file a hurricane claim, the first thing you guys are going to do is meet with the insurance company and see if you can work it out. And if you look at from a claims adjuster's perspective, they might have 200 claims that they're working. And when they come to work at 8:30, all they do all day is put out fires. But they can't be proactive about dealing with your claim. It's just the reality of it. Now, so a lot of these mediations, once they do that, like Albert said, once they do get focused on it, then they're you have a lot better chance of getting it resolved. Now, let me ask you this. A lot of the insurance companies are going to say, well, the 30 and 60-day period, I know it's on the books, but this is an extraordinary disaster, and we're just overcome by claims, and that we're really not in bad faith. We just are overrun by claims, and we just got a little behind on them. What would be your thought on how the courts are going to respond to that?
I think that the courts are going to hold them to the law and say that, sorry, you had 30 days to get this done. And so if you didn't get it done, you're in bad faith. And let me tell you, there's a lot more, there are a lot more instances of bad faith other than untimely payments, right? So if they misinterpret their own policy, then, or they tell you something that's in the policy that's not in there, or some exclusion that, oh, we don't cover that, when in fact there's clearly coverage for it. That's a misrepresentation of the policy provisions, and that's also that also can subject the insurance company to bad faith. We see it all the time. These adjusters just make things up. I mean, I had a guy. He said, with your insured wouldn't let our adjuster inside because he was afraid of COVID. And so he didn't want to let the adjuster inside, so that we never did inspect the inside because you wouldn't let us. And he said...
Playing the COVID card, huh?
Yeah, playing the COVID card. And he said, and I talked to him, he said, I'm from the North Shore. He said, I could care less about, them coming in my house. And he said, I barely ever wore a mask. He said, as a matter of fact, the first two adjusters came inside of my house and took pictures. He said, it's just nonsense. It's a lie. And so, we ended up filing suit in that case. And so, it'll be interesting to see what their response is at that point, I've had a situation where a guy, the first adjuster came out, said, XYZ insurance company tells this to my client, doesn't like to pay hurricane claims. And this was the adjuster that they hired to come out. And that was the first words out of his mouth. It's like, look, I'll write it down, but I don't know that I'll ever,
They don't like to pay. I'll tell you about a write-down situation we had before. Let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your Weekend Lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
It's been a week. Threatening violence against a Supreme Court justice, a Women's Health Protection Act.
The Senate failed to stand gas prices.
Inflation, the stock market.
They took an economy. Okay, sounds good.
To the ground.
MAGA Republicans.
AC White and Vicky White are in custody. And it all happened here.
Can't get this baby formula. We need to address it right now.
Stay with us throughout the weekend.
January 6th. Issue subpoenas.
And as the new week begins.
Delay Ukraine aid.
We need more money. WWL, the News Talk Sports leader.
Bobby Hebert, Cajun Cannon here. One of the things I love about betting my favorite sports is that I'm always finding new player props or game props that I like. And what's cool about FanDuel Sportsbook is you can combine prop bets from multiple games and now even multiple sports. It's called Same Game Parlay Plus, and you can only find them on FanDuel. Combine NBA playoff props you love with your favorite baseball home run hitters for a chance to score an even bigger payout. Utilizing your Same Game Parlay Plus, I can include NBA playoffs, Major League Baseball, and National Hockey League final stretch leading up to the playoffs. If you don't want to build your own Same Game Parlay, check out their popular Same Game Parlay sections where you can join the bets other users are jumping on. And if you're new to FanDuel, sign up with the promo code HEBERT, that's HEBERT, to get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. Make every moment more and download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Just use the promo code HEBERT so they know that I sent you. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of WWL Radio.
21 plus and present in Louisiana. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-770-STOP.
Are you trying to buy a car but keep getting denied because of your credit? We have the answers for you. This is Troy Duan from the Premier Automotive Group. With our Premier Plan, we offer a way to reestablish.
Okay, we got one short one after Babbel sells us a foreign language.
Your credit. All of our cars are Premier certified and go through a multi-point inspection. They also come with a money-back guarantee. If you don't like your car, just bring it back within 3 days and get all your money back, no questions asked. Plus, interest rates are at an all-time low. People are even getting 0% on select vehicles. It's so simple. Just visit www.thepremierplan.com and follow the steps on the screen for instant approval or call 1-833-PREMIER. We have fresh inventory arriving daily, so call today, 1-833-PREMIER, or visit us online at thepremierplan.com, and you could be driving away in your dream vehicle today.
Security is knowing that your payment was processed, your check deposited, your business handled. At Home Bank, we offer the technology you need to have peace of mind wherever you are. So go on, roam, wander. You have the freedom. With Home Bank's mobile app and account notifications, you'll never have to wonder what's happening with your money. We have the tech you expect and the service you deserve. For over 114 years, we've been good for business, good for life. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Attention HVAC service technicians, installers, and electricians. Keefe's AC Heating and Electrical is growing and hiring. Keefe's has a 5-day work week, no on-call, a 401k with company match, 100% paid medical, and more. You may even qualify for a $10,000 sign-on bonus. Have a career, not a job. Celebrating 43 years, Keefe's is a leader in the industry. Go to Keefes.com and click on careers. That's KEEFES.com.
Keefe's Air Conditioning and Heating.
And now electrical.
For fast relief, call Keefe's.
Honey, did you take your medicine?
I took it when I got up. Or was that yesterday? I'm not sure.
It happens to all of us. We forget to take our meds, or we can't remember if we did. Let Wolf's Pharmacy help you keep track of it. When you join their Wolf Pack, your meds will be individually packaged for breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever you need, so you don't have to guess. Then they'll be delivered each month in person, not left sitting in a hot mailbox. For your Wolf Pack, call Wolf's Pharmacy or go to wolfspharmacy.com.
The Louisiana Farm Bureau Federation is celebrating 100 years as the voice of Louisiana agriculture, working through its grassroots leadership to ensure a safe and abundant supply of food, fiber, and fuel. Become a Louisiana Farm Bureau member today at lafarmbureau.org.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel. Me llamo Sean.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos.
You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment. Go to babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
We're all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. May is National Bike Month, so use your bike instead of your car, or for a little bit of exercise. Join Odyssey, and together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
Now, more All Things Legal, underwritten by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. All advice given and opinion shared are solely those of attorneys Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri. Back to WWL.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. Give us a call, 260-1870, or text us at the same number on the Oakland Heart Talk and Text line. We're talking a little bit about, the bad faith claims for insurance companies and not responding to claims after they get a proof of loss. I think one of the interesting cases after Ida was they had a policyholder in the 7th Ward, and his house was beat up pretty good by Hurricane Ida, and he had an insurance company who sort of had the same sentiments as you discussed prior to the commercial, is that this insurance company doesn't like to pay. And so this claims adjuster said he got frustrated. Got frustrated, and he says, look, I'm writing up this claim. I'm going to send it to you. Hold on to it so that if your claim is, quote, written down, then you'll have some proof as to, what I thought the damages were. And so basically the initial claims adjuster, who was an outside claims adjuster who was hired by the insurance company, said it was in the $90,000 range. And then when he got back the claim from the insurance company, it was about $12,000. And so therefore, litigation ensued. Now, this particular issue was actually covered by Channel 6 and Norman Robinson. They did about a 6 or 7 minute expose on this, where they interviewed the.
This was at Katrina.
It's Katrina. It's right? Katrina.
Yeah, you said Ida.
I'm not saying no Katrina. Yeah. I meant Katrina.
Okay, I thought this was.
No. This not recently. This was about 15 years ago, and it was very interesting. It was exposed what happened, and what they basically did was they just took the estimates from the adjuster who had eyes on the damage, sliced it down about 80%, and then sent it back to the insured, which was pro se bad faith. And this was one of the rare times when we did go to mediation, we did get an additional payment for penalties in bad faith, because the insurance company wanted to mitigate. I guess they didn't want to have a follow-up expose as to what happened later. But that's one of the things we would, if you go into litigation, it's one of the things, Albert, we were going to seek is, what was that first estimate by the claims adjuster who put his eyes on the damage, and was it written down or not? And if it was, why? And that's one of the things I think would be indicative of possible bad faith.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We have Randy on the line from Metairie with an Ida claim
write
problem.
Down policy. Estimates. You're the desk adjuster. You're just sitting there relying on boots on the ground to take photographs. Now, they might say, hey, look, you wrote this down, but sorry, it's not covered. And so they may take a policy interpretation and say, you don't have any mold coverage.
Right.
So therefore, we're not going to cover everything in your estimate having to do with mold. So they can write it down in that way based upon a policy exclusion. And then, of course, they've got to go prove their policy exclusion. But in terms of just writing down damages, saying, oh, we're not going to pay for this, we're not going to pay for that, for an arbitrary reason, right? And then that's where the arbitrary and capricious claims handling and bad faith comes in.
All right, let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Randy from Metairie, the home of the West Esplanade Canal. What you got for us, Randy?
Hey, how y'all doing today?
Good.
I had pretty good significant damage from the hurricane, and I got my insurance company. My roof came off, and I had the shingles off. I had a leak And so I needed to get my roof tarped immediately. So I ended up getting locked in, signing one of these contracts with one of these local companies that I thought I could trust them and thought they were good. And, you had to give them, the stipulation was that you had to let them do all your work. So as it turned out, I had to give them all my estimates and then give them an authorization, even though they probably don't really have it, to deal with my insurance company, deal with my mortgage company, anybody involved, and take all the money that's given to me, and then they would make my house whole. So my insurance adjuster came out, and he did his adjustment, and so he's done his assessment, and say he came up with, they've come out twice, and he's got it up to $100,000. The contractor brought out an independent adjuster, and so we're like $50,000, $60,000 apart. And so they won't get on the same page. My insurance company, I'm trying to handle it without getting to a lawyer. The contractor, they put a roof on me. They've given me $40,000. They charged me $38,000 for the roof. My insurance company gave me $26,000. So I've got some money given to me already. So I've given it to the contractor, and he put the roof on. So, but the money's not equal. It's not allocated to the roof. So I only got $26,000 for the roof. I had to give him $38,000. So it came from another area that the insurance company is saying that money was supposed to be used for. I do have a mortgage on the house. The mortgage has the money. They won't release money because my percentages of completion compared to the money that the adjuster has given me isn't equal. And so I'm overpaid at this point, can't get any more money out of the mortgage company because of the insurance. My insurance won't give me the equal amount of money that my contractor went out and got an independent adjuster to come out and do an assessment. And we're about $50,000 apart. After that, we sent that to the insurance company. They gave me another $27,000. So I got like $150,000 worth of damage according to the independent adjuster that's working for the contractor. The insurance company says I have $99,000 worth, and now they won't answer my calls. They won't return calls. They won't answer emails. And so my contractor's telling me to get a lawyer, and it's kind of like, seems to me like him and this lawyer are working in this together in cahoots and don't know who to believe, who to trust. I'm in this contract with this guy, and so now he won't do any more work because he doesn't think the funds are going to come unless I get a lawyer and try to get them to give us the
answer him after the break.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to do.
Randy, can you hold on? Because we got to go to a break, and I think Albert will break this down because there's several components to your question. But if you could hold through the break, we can give you about 4 or 5 minutes before the news to help you break this down and point you in the right direction. Okay, let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your Weekend Lawyers. We'll be right back.
I'm Matt Spiegel, and I'm the host of the brand new podcast, Beat the Streak Daily. Every weekday this Major League season, I will update the state of Beat the Streak. The rules are simple. Each day, pick 1 or 2 players you think will get a hit. And if they do, your streak continues. Sounds doable, right? But so far, it's been impossible to win. And with millions of dollars on the line, no one has ever gotten to 56. Subscribe now to Beat the Streak Daily. Wherever you get
You're going to have 6 whole minutes.
Play Beat the Streak for your chance to win $5.6 million.
BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks, unleashes the spirit of Las Vegas with BetMGM rewards. Every time you make a wager at BetMGM, you can earn BetMGM reward points that you can redeem for online bonus credits, like free bets and risk-free tokens. Planning a trip to Vegas? You can also convert your BetMGM points into MGM reward points that you can use toward dining, shows, and hotel rooms at over 20 MGM resort properties located on the Las Vegas Strip and nationwide. BetMGM Rewards is sports betting's premier loyalty program, featuring exclusive offers, incredible experiences, and valuable perks when you wager on the BetMGM app. Sign up with BetMGM to get an even bigger piece of the action with BetMGM Rewards. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions.
21 years of age or older to wager. Louisiana only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700 in partnership with Sam's Town Shreveport Casino. If you are a loved one or suffering from addiction, listen to Springfield Wellness Center's founder, Paula Norris Metayer.
I feel personally, when I walk around on the grounds, that it's sacred ground. It's healing. Just the environment is healing. Just
Okay, we go live after Wesley Financial tells us the ugly truth.
I can let go. I can let go of the worry. I can let go of the stress that I've been carrying around for a long time. We don't shame anybody. We don't blame anybody. We don't judge anyone. Just that alone really is the foundation on which everything else that we do is done.
Put your addiction behind you. Call Springfield Wellness Center, 504-291-4000.
Just call us. That's all. And we'll be waiting for you.
504-291-4000. 291-4000. Springfield Wellness Center. SpringfieldWellnessCenter.com.
Hey, y'all, have some festival fun this weekend. May 12th through 14th, Boggy Bottom Festival at Ville Platte. Cruise in Cajun Country in New Iberia. May 14th, Louisiana Veterans Festival in Slidell. Asiana Spring Festival in
5 minutes till the top of the hour.
15th, Baton Rouge Soul Food Festival. And May 20th through 22nd, Bogalusa Balloon Fest. So make your plans to Laissez Les Bon Temps Relais.
This is Lieutenant Governor Billy Mengesha. Plan your road trip at LouisianaIsATrip.com.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshares. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, well, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And the process started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. Sounds crazy, right? Well, the crazy thing is, this never ends. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. I guarantee if we can't cancel your timeshare, you'll pay nothing.
Were you lied to when buying a timeshare and want out? Get the facts about timeshare cancellation. Call Wesley now for your free information kit. 800-885-3333. 800-885-3333. 800-885-3333.
All things legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud on WWL and Odyssey Station. Connect now on the Oakwin Hart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We're on the phone with Randy, and basically he's in a contract with a contractor. His mortgage company's holding his money, and he doesn't have enough money from the insurance company to pay the contractor. He doesn't know what to do. And Albert, if you want to break that down.
Let me ask you about your contract with your contractor.
Okay. All right.
Have you paid the contractor any money?
Yes, he's been paid $47,000, and all I've got out of it now. Okay, he is, and my insurance hasn't paid me for this. They tarred my roof. They charged me $7,000 for that, and then they put the new roof on. That was $38,000, and then they came in, and I had two ceilings that collapsed, and then I've had, I got water stains all over the other ceilings and throughout the house. But they removed all the sheetrock and the wet insulation and did the mold mediation. They brought in the blowers and the dehumidifiers, and they've done all that. So they've been paid basically for the $7,000 for tarping the house, the $38,000 for the roof, and then I have another. I have like a $2,000 credit with them right now because they've got my, I gave them $47,000 and I've got, I guess I'm 45 into it, but they've got me. I owe them some money right now. I have they charged me $6,500 for the mediation, which I have not paid them yet.
For me,
yeah, who
the insurance sent a separate check. They did, the contractor.
So do you know? Have you checked on this contractor to see if they were licensed Louisiana contractors?
They are licensed. Yes.
What type of license? Is it a residential contractor's license or a home improvement certificate?
I would have to. I'm not positive on that.
All right, that's an important question because if they bid something above $75,000, they're in violation of the law, and the contract is illegal. The second thing is, are they licensed remediation contractors? Because mold remediators have to be licensed by the state. So you need to see if they have a mold remediation license as well. And so if they don't, then they charge you for a service that they illegally perform. And so there are a lot of reasons why you could probably get, if it pans out that they are not licensed, a lot of reasons you can get rid of this contractor, and actually there are criminal consequences for performing services and not being licensed by the state properly. And so you've got quite a hammer there. Now, we as lawyers, of course, can't use that to use a criminal threat to settle a civil case, but you as the individual certainly can, go talk to the DA about it. But assume that he's all good, everything's fine. You may want to try to get an estimate to just get the rest of the work done from another contractor, make sure they're licensed, and see where you stand, because you may be close to having enough money to do that. You can terminate this other contractor and bring an action against your insurance company for the difference while you're getting your house back in order. Have you lived outside of the house? Do you have additional living expenses that you've incurred?
No, I'm living just on that. Like, this is basically on one side of the house where the ceiling's collapsed, and then there's water stains on the ceilings throughout. So I'm just living on the other side of the house.
I see. Okay.
Now the contract does have in it. In the contract, the only way you can break it based on, from a legal standpoint, it states that if the insurance company and they don't agree, we're allowed to break the contract if we can't come to a conclusion. Now, they have given me a name of a lawyer, and it almost sounds like they're in cahoots with this particular lawyer. And supposedly all he's done is handle claims since Laura and dealt with all the claims over there in Lake Charles. And it almost sounds like they're working together.
We got to go to a hard break. Give us a call, 504-837-1304. We'll be happy to help you. We can get you out of that contract. You can terminate a contractor for any reason. So give me a call.
All right, give us a call. We're going to national news, local news. We'll be back for hour number 2 and all things legal. See you in about 10 minutes.
The News Talk Sports Powerhouse. WWL New Orleans, WWL FM and HD1 Kenner New Orleans, and Odyssey Station.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Linda Kenyon in Washington.
We're calling on you, God. Heal the broken.
Churches in Buffalo, New York, gathering for Sunday prayers, are mourning the tragic loss of 10 people in their community after a gunman opened fire at a grocery store yesterday. A vigil is being held today at the Tops Market. Officials say the suspect, 18-year-old Peyton Gendron, live-streamed the whole thing. WCBS TV reporter Thalia Perez.
Officials believe the camera was attached somewhere on that tactical gear Gendron was wearing. Twitch, the service he was live streaming on, has removed the suspect's channel, and in a statement, a spokesperson says, "We are devastated to hear about the shooting that took place this afternoon in Buffalo, New York. Our hearts go out to the community impacted by this tragedy. Twitch has a zero-tolerance policy against violence of any kind and works swiftly to respond to all incidents. The user has been indefinitely suspended from our service, and we are taking all appropriate action, including monitoring for any accounts rebroadcasting this content."
Authorities believe the attack was racially motivated. The suspect has been arraigned on first-degree murder charges. Top NATO diplomats are meeting in Berlin, discussing providing further support to Ukraine, as well as efforts by Finland and Sweden to join the alliance.
Our security, our freedom, our values are under threat. But together, we will defend them.
Germany's foreign minister. The meeting comes as Russia continues its attacks against Ukraine. The wives and mothers of Ukrainian fighters who remain holed up in the steel plant in Mariupol feel it may be too late for their rescue or release. Natalia Zaritska is wondering if she will ever see her husband again.
In my mind, I think that there is no chances, but in my heart, I feel that we can save them.
That shortage of baby formula has parents around the country scrambling to get what they need.
It's like a scavenger hunt.
Some parents say they're considering going to Canada. In a most unusual step for North Korea, the government there is acknowledging COVID is spreading.
In a sign that things are serious, North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un wore a mask for the first time in public as he visited what state media called his epidemic prevention headquarters in Pyongyang. Despite including a special unit of workers in hazmat suits in last fall's military parade, North Korea claimed it had not seen one case of COVID until this week.
That's CBS's Elizabeth Palmer. And this is CBS News.
This is actually the location where the woman was killed.
This European data mining company is helping document apparent Russian war crimes in Ukraine. How do they do it? New 60 Minutes tonight.
If you owe the IRS back taxes, then get ready to pay up. The IRS has giant private collection agencies actively tracking down folks who owe the IRS. So if you think dodging them was stressful in the past, it's going to get a whole lot tougher. Optima Tax Relief has this advice. Don't wait. Solve your tax problems now before it's too late. Optima Tax Relief works to stop the demand letters, stop the aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS collectors from targeting you. Ask Optima about the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands, and nobody knows this program better than they do. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, and they get results, having resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get a fresh start. Call today for your free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
WWL First News. I'm Dave Cohen on your official weather station, WWL.
Today featuring plenty of sunshine, and it will be quite humid through today with highs reaching the lower 90s. And then when you factor in the humidity, it is going to feel so much warmer. Looking at isolated showers today, hit or miss, many of us remaining dry. And as we head into tonight, mostly clear skies with overnight temperatures falling into the lower 70s.
Complete forecast coming up from your local weather expert, WWL TV meteorologist Michelle Morgan. Look to the sky tonight and you should see the moon go from white to blood red. WWL's Kevin Gallagher tells us it's a full lunar eclipse.
LSU astronomy professor Jeff Clayton says these events were once upon a time considered harbingers of something bad.
Anything strange in the sky would be upsetting to people if they weren't being predicted. The nice thing is the closest can be predicted, and they've been predicted as far back as the Babylonians.
He says the eclipse should start around 9:30 Sunday evening.
The cop car is back, but who stole it? WWL TV's Mike McDaniel tells us police in New Orleans are on the hunt.
New Orleans and Levy police are trying to find who stole a Levy District police cruiser in broad daylight Saturday. Levy police stopped all traffic stops each Saturday because of that theft. Investigators say a cruiser was stolen from their depot on Franklin Avenue. A spokeswoman for the Levy District says the thieves drove the cruiser through a locked gate. It was found just before 5 Saturday afternoon, but police are still trying to find the person responsible.
Here's Sean Ross with WWL Sports.
No doubt the Saints have made a splash this offseason, bringing not one but two highly talented former LSU Tigers back home to the Big Easy. In safety, Tyrann Mathieu, and wide receiver Jarvis Landry. Head coach Dennis Allen says Landry's another weapon that'll get the ball down the field and into the end zone.
Obviously been a really good player in our league. He's a guy that we feel like can move the chains and feel like he's a guy from a character standpoint, from a leadership standpoint that I think we can use.
And what about the Honey Badger?
He's here because he's a really good football player. He's a playmaker. We feel like he's still got a lot of good football left in him.
Matthew signed a 3-year, $33 million deal with the Black and Gold. Landry has yet to officially sign with the team. And could history be made at Alex Box today, and not the good kind, as the Tigers look to avoid the sweep by Ole Miss? The Rebels have never swept a 3-game series in Baton Rouge since the rivalry started in 1906, and only twice since 1982 has Ole Miss taken the series from the Bayou Bengals at home. Game 3 gets underway at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Pre-game coverage begins at 12:30. Catch all the action on WWLAMFM.com and the Odyssey app. Sean Ross, WWL Sports.
Now, your Garcia Roofing forecast on WWL.
Beautiful day. It'll just be rather hot with lots of sunshine and temperatures climbing into the lower 90s. When you factor in the humidity, it's going to feel like the mid-90s, so just make sure you're practicing heat safety and isolated showers are possible, many of us remaining dry. Tonight, expect clear skies, and also today, or tonight rather, is the total lunar eclipse, and the weather will be perfect to view it tonight. Overnight temperatures falling into the lower 70s. As we begin the weekend, another sunny day as we head into our Monday, and dry, and temperatures climbing into the lower 90s. From your local weather expert forecast center, I'm WWL-TV meteorologist Michelle Morgan.
I'm Dave Cohen, WWL First News.
From WWL, the news, talk, sports powerhouse of the Gulf South, it's All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud. Underwritten by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. Join us on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870, or connect anytime, anywhere on the Odyssey app. Now, to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union studios in the heart of New Orleans, here are attorneys Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri.
Hey, we're back. Hour number 2, Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. Give us a call, 260-1870, or text us at the same number, 260-1870. It's Oakland Heart Talk and Text line. We'll be on till 10 o'clock. We've got LSU baseball today against Ole Miss in a must-win, absolute must-win. They lost 2 yesterday, or continuation of Game 1, which was rain delayed. 5-3 they lost again, 11-1. Starting pitching and defense. Yesterday, they had about 6 runs that were directly against them due to errors. So, starting pitching and defense. If that doesn't get straight, we'll be out of this by the first week of June. Also, on a personal note, wanted to congratulate Madison, who's our daughter, who is graduating from LSU Law School, and she's graduating on Friday. And congratulations! She's also pregnant, and she's going to take the bar exam. I think she'll be 6 or 7 months pregnant by then. And she's actually due the weekend of the LSU Ole Miss game. So hopefully.
So which will you go to, Doug?
I think I'll be in Ruston, where she is now. But there is I can watch the game on the handheld, and I'm a traditionalist. I'm gonna be in the waiting room. I don't want to be anywhere near the action, So just come out and tell me what happened, and I'll be watching the game in the interim.
To follow up really on that, our last caller before the break.
Yes.
There are a lot of these bully contractors and bully public adjusters out there that have you sign these contracts that supposedly lock you in to using their services, and you can't use any other services, and you can get out of these contracts. They're many of them are against public policy. A lot of people think you can't fire your contractor. A lot of people think you can't fire your lawyer. You can fire your lawyer. He's your lawyer. She's your lawyer. This is your lawsuit. You can go to them and say, "Hey, look, I don't want you to represent me anymore. You're not getting any cooperation from you. Haven't heard from you." And you can call the story we told before. I'd be interested to see, the story we told before about the public adjuster who was trying to refer this person only to this lawyer from Galveston, Texas. That if they have to come in to try this case, they're going to charge you all these expenses for their flights, for their hotel rooms, for their whatever. It's craziness. There are plenty good lawyers here in Louisiana, Southeast Louisiana, that can handle your case for you, and you won't have all these extraneous charges. They'll know the court systems better because they're local. It just makes sense to do that. But in terms of the contractor, you can terminate the contractor as long as you terminate that contract for cause. It sounds like in his contract, what he had mentioned is that he can terminate this contractor if the insurance company and their adjuster that they send out don't agree. And so if that's the case, then he could certainly terminate that contractor, who may in fact be charging him way too much money and may in fact be not be licensed as a residential hold a residential contractor's license. They may only hold a home improvement certificate, which only gives them the right to bid on and work jobs up to $75,000. So, and they may not be licensed remediation contractors, mold remediation contractors. If they're not, then you don't owe them any money for that. And what they've done is illegal. And so if it's an illegal contract, it's as if there is no contract. It's absolutely null. And so they're not entitled to collect anything on that. So there's a lot of good law in your favor if you want to try to dump someone who's especially not licensed. So you can go to the State Licensing Board for Contractors website to look up the name of that person and the name of the company to see if either is licensed.
Look, let me ask you a few questions. I think right now there's a lot of what happens after a event like Hurricane Ida. People are vulnerable. People are, I don't want to say desperate, but they're just in a very vulnerable situation. And they had a lot of, I guess, out of town remediation companies that come in and say, "Hey, we'll come in and clean up your house, and we'll do some remediation," and then they get a bill for six figures, and scope wasn't defined and that sort of thing. Few questions. First of all, if you do, like I want to say remediation, when you tear out, do you need to be licensed by the contractors board?
Technically, yes. I've not seen where the licensing. If it's more than $7,500 to do the demo and the gut out.
Yeah.
So if you get a company to come just do the gutting of the property, it talks about repair in the statute, and if in fact they consider demolition as part of the repair. I mean, obviously you can't begin the repair without doing the demo, and it's typically part of a larger contract in the event they're doing more than just demo. So it's technically yes. I don't know that anybody would really have an issue with that at the contractor's licensing board, but if someone from that department is listening, they certainly can give me a call and clear it up on that. But I've not seen where they have issues with that, unless somebody charged $40,000 for demo and they're having a problem because they overcharged someone.
Right. Now, next question. If somebody comes in or a company comes in and they bring in the fans and they do the dry out, in other words, they'll do some demo, they bring fans and they try to dry it out for the purpose of not having mold spread. Do you need a mold remediation contract for that?
No, actually, that I don't think that would be considered mold remediation. I think the mold remediation talks more about the process of applying chemicals to remediate the mold. And so, just because you're drying the property out, of course, now you can't give a mold certificate, right? So I think if I'm that caller from the last hour, I would contact that lawyer and say, "Hey, look, I need to get a mold certificate from you that you did this mold remediation work, and now it's okay to begin the build back. So send that to me." I don't know that he would be able to do that. Now, keep in mind that those who test for mold cannot do the remediation, and vice versa. So he would have to maybe get someone over to the house to do the mold testing and make sure that the mold has been remediated. My guess is if there's still stains all over the ceilings everywhere, there's probably still some mold growing on the paper of that drywall on the other side, on the the ceiling side, the un-air conditioned side of the ceiling, and so that the insulation should probably be lifted to see if there's mold growing underneath there and on the paper of the drywall. So my guess is he's probably still got some mold up in there, and maybe of course if it's the new roof's on it, it may have dried up by now, but it's still not encapsulated. It's still there. So
now
he's got a lot of things to do to get himself out of this predicament.
Now, another issue that I came across is when the mold remediation company, before they started the work, they put a lien on the property, unknowing to the homeowner. In other words, they said, we know you don't have the money. We'll go do the work, and we will, there's a question as to whether the scope of work was defined, and how you come to that number. But they before the work was completed, unknowingly, the mold remediate, or not the mold, the tear out company, the demo company, put a lien on the property prior to completion, unknown to the policyholder. Is that a proper thing to do? That's almost, as you say, a bullying tactic. But they put the lien on there without knowledge before the work was done, and to assure
so
payment.
That's a couple of things, right? So the mold remediation or the demolition contractor, that situation where they actually do file a lien, the law is very clear that that there is no you can't put a lien or take advantage of the Private Works Act if you are not licensed. So if the work done is more than $75,000, I think you could likely have that lien removed and threaten to have it removed. And if they don't remove it within 10 days receipt of the demand to do so, you would likely be entitled to attorney's fees for having the lien removed if you have to go file the writ of mandamus against the clerk of court. So in that instance, like I said, I don't know that the contractor's licensing board would necessarily sanction some company that's gone in there and done some clean out for somebody that needed the stuff pulled out of their house in a catastrophe where thousands of homes had been devastated. But for the purposes of filing a lien prior to completion of the work, and not being licensed, even as a home improvement have a home improvement certificate, then I really think that the courts will throw that out and likely even award attorney's fees for having to do so, and the threat of which would likely get the lien removed as well.
All right. Well, let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your Weekend Lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
When you listen to Scoot, you're listening to rock and roll history.
Today in 1970 was on this day in 1998. I'll never forget the way I felt the morning.
Scoot's rock culture calendar has everything you remember and some things you don't. From legendary concert appearances to personal tragedies, he covers it all.
I remember playing this record on the air for the first time and knowing it was going to be a huge hit.
It's a perspective on the history of rock you can't get anywhere else from someone who's lived it.
Honestly, I'm lucky to be alive.
Scoot on the air, weekdays 1 to 4 on WWL.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-859-3220. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 to 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200.
Last 2 spots are extermination and accounting.
Policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-859-3220. That's 800-859-3220 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. 800-859-3220.
We're all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. When planning your summer vacation, pick a destination close to where you live to limit your use of fuel. Join Odyssey, and together each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
Protect what matters most with ABC Fire and Burglar Alarm. Security systems, monitoring, automation, and cameras for your home or business. Stay secure and connected at an affordable price. Call ABC today, 889-9795.
How can you experience the ultimate in luxury while also getting the best possible value at the same place? Seems contradictory, right? Well, it happens every day at Diamonds Direct as we bring together the best of all worlds for our customers. We take pride in our showroom atmosphere being both lavish and relaxing. It's our selection, which is truly breathtaking and yet attainable. It's our diamond experts who are technical in their knowledge, but at the same time warm, engaging, and caring. This is what makes Diamonds Direct a unique and captivating place where we constantly challenge the norms and redefine shopping expectations. Regardless of whether you want a simple gold band or the most intricate custom design ring, we love making it happen. And whether you're in a t-shirt and shorts or a three-piece suit, you'll be treated like family and we'll go out of our way to make you comfortable and happy. Come and experience a different kind of jeweler where we're as practical as we are romantic. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Directions and store hours online at diamondsdirect.com.
Jerry and Larry's auto shop needed a small business loan fast, but instead of going to On Deck, Larry called
Loan Cannon!
Really, bro? There's a better way to get a fast small business loan. Go to OnDeck.com. Then if approved, get your loan as soon as the same day. Your loan is on deck. Depending on certain loan attributes, your business loan may be issued by OnDeck or Celtic Bank, a Utah chartered industrial bank, member FDIC. Limited eligibility for same-day funding. OnDeck does not lend in every state. All loans subject to lender approval.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. Pests in Louisiana are as unique as our state, and you need experience to keep the pests away. Termites are responsible for more than $1 billion of damage in Louisiana alone. J&J Exterminating has over 55 years experience in keeping your home safe. Trust J&J Exterminating to shield your home, business, and property 365 days a year with 100% satisfaction guarantee.
J&J Exterminating.
Yeah. Are you a business owner doing your own bookkeeping? Why? It makes no sense, literally. Focus on what you do well, like growing your business, and let Accounting Services Unlimited handle your bookkeeping. Hi, this is Thomas Fontes. Accounting Services Unlimited is insanely affordable and will come to you. Call for a free quote. Accounting Services Unlimited, 504-717-6253. That's 717-6253. Or visit us at asu-llc.com.
All things legal on WWL. Consult with Nicaud and Sunseri now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870. And don't forget to rewind on the Odyssey app.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers. Got a couple of texts. And of course, they're not about law. They're about important things like LSU, football and baseball. Says, good morning. Do you think the LSU football team will beat Alabama this year? If yes, why? If no, why not? Enjoy your show. Too early to tell, but I would say probably not at this point. Because, you know, when you have two quarterbacks or three, you have none. So we need a quarterback first. But I think
I think that'll shake out.
Yeah.
Listen, a lot of coaches do that. Hey, we don't have a quarterback yet, and then the main guy doesn't think he's got it in the bag, and I think that may not be a bad thing to have a little spring training competition going on and make them work hard, study hard, and play hard. So
yeah, we'll see.
We'll have one probably by July for sure, maybe June.
Well, I think probably by probably second week of August because they're going to go into fall camp. But I think it will be an up and down year. I think we'll win some games we're not supposed to. We might lose a couple of games we should win. So I'm looking at 8-4. Here's an interesting text. LSU grad 1959, which was the Billy Cannon year and the national championship. 3 sons who are LSU grads pulling for Ole Miss after they dishonored Troy Middleton, World War II hero, by taking his name off the library. So interesting comment. I think a lot of disenchantment with LSU regarding some of the traditions that are being taken away over the cultural issue of the day. So that's pretty strong there. So all right.
So why did they give a reason?
Well, they said because some of his views at that time regarding segregation, they removed his name and basically erased him and canceled him. Which Troy Middleton was a great World War II hero, so it's sort of a Robert E. Lee deal, and that's sometimes. Well, I have a lot to say, but probably better off going on to the next subject. We were talking about Hurricane Ida and some of the claims with some of the contractors. Tell me about a lot of these contracts for the tear out remediation people have a contract that says we will only charge what the insurance company pays. Can you and now and the insurance company may pay a portion of the money. Some of it's allocated to the remediation, some's maybe to the roof and other areas. How does a homeowner deal with that particular situation in dealing with the remediation company?
Well, if it's a remediation company, that's one thing. The other thing is if it's a contractor, and then there are a lot of provisions in the law and the administrative rules from the State Board of Contractors that talk about home improvement contractors, specifically roofers, and dealing with roofers, and they can't give you a rebate. It's illegal for them to give you a rebate. If they rebate you back your deductible, many of them aren't doing that now because the deductible is not $2,000 or $3,000 anymore. A lot of times it's $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 deductible. So that's not an issue so much anymore under the law. But and there are just certain things that the contract has to say for a home improvement contractor with respect to your rights to cancel the contract, their ability to deal directly with the insurance company. It's very specific to all of that, and so people just have to be careful when they're dealing with these groups that want to jump in and get involved with your insurance company. Now, they're very reputable contractors, licensed contractors that will go out there and say, and maybe make a call for you and say, look, the reason why I had to do X, Y, Z is because, the tree fell and hit the side. Well, we put a level on the studs, and it knocked them out of position, and the wall's leaning now, and so we have to go rebuild that wall, and here's a structural engineer report. Those types of things, I don't find are a problem. But if they're going to play like an adjuster and try to negotiate your claim for you, first of all, that's illegal. I mean, unless they're properly licensed, and those are the things you have to kind of get a hold of and see what they're up to, and maybe you can, if you're at odds with your contractor, maybe you can get a copy from your adjuster of any correspondence that your contractor sent to them to see if they've crossed that line of trying to negotiate a claim on your behalf. And we see a lot of these public adjusters that are charging 10% or backing in at 10%. We'll charge you X amount, and they charge some exorbitant amount, with a maximum of 10%. Well, that's a 10% fee. They can't charge a contingency fee. That's a violation of law. They can't charge by a percentage. They have to charge by the work that was performed. So there are a lot of these contracts where they're trying to creatively get around all of these requirements that the legislature put and the licensing board for those folks put on the these public adjusters and people that are trying to act on your behalf that are not necessarily even licensed. And so they put a lot of safeguards to, protect and preserve the practice of law, and also to protect and preserve the relationship with the customer, with the Louisiana citizens who they have a duty to protect.
Gotcha. They as far as the I guess the remediation companies are concerned, or the tear out companies, is there have you encountered every situations where the contract would say we'll take with the insurance company, or basically have not a lien but a claim on what the insurance company pays, but they're saying if the insurance company does not pay, you're still responsible for it, and how would you deal with that particular situation?
Well, I mean, I get to always get into what is reasonable, right? And so, if you get a Louisiana license contractor with a good reputation who's been around a long time that can come in and assess what tearing out debris or whatever would cost in that situation during that time, right, when people were struggling to get contractors to their homes, and the number that this company charged was just astronomical in compared to what should have been charged or what possibly could have been charged. And you'd even have an issue to deal with the district attorney's office from that parish, that they're performing unfair trade practices, that they're charging you too much money, that it's contractor fraud. Granted, you sign a contract. The contract is the law between the parties, unless it's somehow against public policy. And if it's unclear, of course, or ambiguous, it's interpreted in your favor because you didn't provide a contract. So there are a lot of ways to kind of get around some of these things where people think you're locked in to this arrangement. But yeah, so many of them are they're almost extortion. I mean, they're going to go, like you said, to these people who are the most vulnerable, right? The biggest investment of their life is their home usually, and it's been devastated, and they're out of their homes and they're living in a little portion of it. It's all of their contents has been damaged, their personal belongings, and now these people are going to come in here with these with the adhesionary contracts that clearly take advantage of that vulnerability. I think a judge or a jury or whomever, if it push came to shove, would be very sympathetic to the individuals. Again, if you can find that there was some sort of fraud, some sort of extortion, some illegal portion of the contract, or if they weren't properly licensed.
All right. Let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
The stories you want.
Sonny shoves me and kind of grabs me by the collarbone. This is a war between Russia and Ukraine. The United States is not fighting this war.
The stories you need.
How dare they tell a woman what she can do and cannot do with her own body?
This is an assault on privacy.
What are the next things that are going to be attacked?
The elections this November will have consequences. If people would stop with the misinformation and disinformation, we could have legitimate discussions.
This last spot is BetQL after the draft.
Talk sports leader.
Javier KJ Cannon here. Look, the playoffs are into the second round, and you can make every game feel like Game 7 on FanDuel Sportsbook, an official partner of the NBA. Throughout the playoffs, all customers can place a no-sweat, same-game parlay each week. You'll get up to $20 in free bets if you don't win. FanDuel has so many ways to play, and best of all, when you do win, you'll get paid faster than a fast break. If you're new to FanDuel, just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up with the promo code ABEAR to get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. Once again, that's promo code ABEAR, that's HEBERT. And if you already have an account, you're all set to bet no sweat. Either way, you'll get up to $20 in free bets if your same-game parlay during the playoffs doesn't win. FanDuel Sportsbook, an official partner of the NBA and WWL Radio.
21 plus and present in Louisiana. Permitted parishes only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max free bet $20 per week. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-877-770-STOP.
Hey, son, how are you feeling?
I'm fine, Pops.
What's on your mind?
I can't explain it. Navigating without a compass, eyes waiting, started to wonder. Metamorphosis, the loss of who you thought you was.
When your kid can't find the language, help them find the lyrics. Listen to the Sound It Out album and get tips and tools to start a conversation at soundidouttogether.org. Brought to you by Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
Vinyltech's warehouse is fully stocked with roofing, siding, gutters, and windows. Our 20 reps are working around the clock for you. Don't wait 4 months to get work done. Vinyltech has materials now and are prepared to start on your home. Vinyltech has the most roofing, siding, gutters, and window siding crews in the area. Call for a free estimate. We show up and get you done. 504-469-7590 or vinyltechnola.com. 504-469-7590 or vinyltechnola.com.
Hi, folks. Joel Myers for my friends at Mercedes-Benz of New Orleans. If you're in the market for a great pre-owned luxury vehicle, look no further than Mercedes-Benz of New Orleans, where you can shop from a large selection of top luxury brands, including BMW, Lexus, Range Rover, Cadillac, Infiniti, and many others. Of course, we have a large selection of top-quality certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz vehicles as well. Because at Mercedes-Benz of New Orleans, we get the nicest pre-owned vehicles from the nicest people. Our customers, Mercedes-Benz of New Orleans, Veterans Boulevard in Metairie.
As the temperatures heat up, our energy bills will rise. But with Alarm Protection Services Smart Home app, you can save time and money by managing your lights, home temperature, and alarm settings with automated schedules. APS keeps you in control of the energy settings when you're away. Get notifications if your thermostat is adjusted and lock out others when they try to change it. You have complete control through your APS Smart Home app. Save time and money this spring. Visit securitybyaps.com or call 504-455-5277.
Blackened redfish on a bed of mashed potatoes topped with crawfish and mushroom cream sauce and fried crawfish tails. That's our blackened redfish lafouche. Only at Bobby Hebert's Cajun Cannon Restaurant. Zesty, pulled Chipotle chicken served on a soft, fluffy bun topped with crispy fried pickles, fresh lettuce, tomato, and onions. That's our Fat Bear Chipotle chicken sandwich. Only at Bobby Hebert's Cajun Cannon Restaurant.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshares. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, well, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And the process started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. Sounds crazy, right? Well, the crazy thing is, this never ends. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. I guarantee if we can't cancel your timeshare, you'll pay nothing.
Were you lied to when buying a timeshare and want out? Get the facts about timeshare cancellation. Call Wesley now for your free information kit. 800-885-3333. 800-885-3333. 800-885-3333.
The NBA playoffs are heating up. Unlock every angle with coverage from the BetQL.
Here we go after this.
Find out which teams could cause an upset, get the latest injury updates, and find out where the money line is moving with daily coverage from the Daily Tip. Go deeper into each series with BetQL Daily and You Better You Bet. And get live reactions to the biggest playoff moments with BetMGM tonight. Get started with the Odyssey app or find us on Twitch.
All things legal on WWL, AMFM.com, and the Odyssey app. Connect with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud on the Oakwinard Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We're on till 10 o'clock. Stay tuned on WWL, AMFM, Odyssey.com. We got LSU baseball against Ole Miss, 12:30 pregame, 1 o'clock first pitch. Lord knows who's going to be. and Lord knows who's going to be the starting pitcher. Who do we have on the phone?
Guy.
Guy. Got Guy from Laplace. Hey, Guy, you in all things legal. What can we do for you, brother?
Hey, got a question. Recently, our third desk adjuster informed us that the insurance company will invoke what they call appraisal of loss, and they're asking us to appoint an appraiser to meet with the appraiser and so forth that they met with.
Yes.
And I was just getting a little clarification on that because we had requested that we have a third inspection to meet with the person that did the independent inspection for us because there's a huge disparity. And then that took a couple of weeks, and then they came back and said no, they're just going to continue with the appraisal of loss.
Yes. Well, a lot of insured claims in St. John, St. Charles Parish, Terrebonne are used. The insurance companies are using the appraisal process because there's such a disparity in what the policyholders claiming and the insurance companies paying. Basically, what happens in the appraisal process is you appoint an estimator. You're going to have to pay for them, unfortunately, under the terms of the policy. They'll probably cost anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000, and then they have an estimator. They get together to see if they can have a consensus on damages. If they don't, then they submit their positions to an umpire who's mutually selected by both estimators. And the umpire makes the decision, and pretty much the decision of the umpire is binding. Now, also, from a practical standpoint, the policyholder will also have to pay for the umpire, which runs anywhere from $2,000 to $3,500. Also, you'd have to pay for half of that, and that becomes the damages. Now, one of the things when they go to appraisal, whatever number it is, you pretty much have to live with, good or bad. But when you do go to appraisal, you do not lose your bad faith claim if they did not pay out enough initially. So, for example, let's say a policyholder's claim is $200,000. The insurance company pays out $5,000, and you go to appraisal, and the appraiser says $150,000 on building. Well, the insurance company is obligated to pay that $150,000 once the appraisal process, the award is issued either by consensus by the estimators or by the umpire. But still, by the fact that the insurance company only paid $5,000 and the ultimate appraisal award was $150,000, you would have a fantastic claim for bad faith, saying that they should have gotten you more undisputed money out sooner, and they cannot use the appraisal process to hold back money that you would be entitled to anyway. You follow that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And my other question is, like, I guess as a normal person, when you think of someone appraising things, you think of appraising something of value, okay, and determine the value of something. In this case, it's a loss. So, for instance, my windows, the two inspections that the insurance company did, they want to glaze my windows, but yet the company that I use locally to do a thorough inspection, a window company that's been around for years, okay, determined that all my windows, 26 windows, are compromised. So is that appraiser from the insurance company, I guess, have the experience or, I guess, the training to determine if my windows are compromised or not?
They may or may not. And you got to count on your appraiser that he does, and that you got to account for if the appraisers disagree, the insurance company's appraiser disagrees with your appraiser, then that issue goes to the umpire, and the umpire will make the decision regarding the windows. Now, so they may or may not, but you just have your ducks in a row. When you have your appraiser, give the information to the appraiser, your appraiser, showing why the windows are compromised, and your appraiser will submit that to the insurance company. We've done about 15 appraisals so far, and about 7 of them, both estimators agreed on the scope of damages, and they were
correct.
Better. They were good results. I mean, it wasn't. No, they're not. Usually the umpire is a contractor or an attorney with a lot of construction experience. They understand construction, and so they know what's damaged and what's not. They understand from a objective standpoint, most of them, what constitutes damage. And they are very familiar with the policies. They're very familiar with the scope of coverage. So the appraisal process is not, the downside is if you get a bad result, you got to live with it. There's really limited appeal, limited review. But it does turn over quickly after 2 or 3 months. Now, what you can do is after the appraisal process is over, and there's a big disparity between the appraisal award and what the insurance company pays, you can go to a lawyer and file a bad faith claim and try to get, and try to get some money back on them paying later. And those are the appraisal award often makes the case for those kind of cases. So you get 2 bites at the apple in this process.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much.
All right. Thanks for the call, Guy. Albert, I found that they used a lot of the appraisals in Laplace because you had these situations where insurance companies paying out $5,000 or $10,000 and the homeowner's claiming almost a total loss because they got the full brunt of the argument.
I've got tons of those. I've got tons of those. And again, like you get that extra bite at the apple where you get your payment so you can start working on your home and you can then file the lawsuit for bad faith. And, that's almost like found money, right? At that point, where you're moving forward to try to collect 50% of your damages and your attorney's fees. So Doug, does the insurance company have to go to appraisal if you demand appraisal?
Yes.
And vice versa. If they say we demand appraisal, does the insured have to go to appraisal, or can they say no, we want to continue through the court system?
Generally, the policies that I've come across require appraisal to occur, and if you don't, the insurance company can file a motion to enforce. So that's been my experience with that. But each policy is different, and if there's a reason you wouldn't want to go to an appraisal, just you'd have to read the individual policy to see. But generally, it's almost like an arbitration proceeding. But I guess the aspect I dislike about appraisal is there's no review of the damages. But the good part is
arbitration proceeding.
Right. But the good part is a lot of when you get in mediation, insurance companies committed bad faith. They know they committed bad faith, and then what they tell you is we'll settle with you. We're not going to consider bad faith damages, but if you want to go after bad faith damages, we'd probably lose, and we'll see you in court in 2 years. And a lot of people cannot wait that extra time for their money in order to settle. So they'll bypass the bad faith penalties because they need their money now because they want to go back to living. And they use the fact that the court system takes sometimes a year, 2 years to turn over to have a bad faith claim. So this is the best of both worlds. You get your money in sooner.
And here's the other half. Here's the other half of that. So if you don't want to be in federal court, let's say you're in Houma or Thibodeau, right? And you want to be in state court, the jurisdictional limit before the insurance company can remove it to federal court is $75,000. So if you've gotten your damages paid and you're only talking about bad faith penalties of 50% of the damages plus attorney's fees, you may fall under that $75,000 claim. Now you're going to keep it in state court. Now you're going to have a jury where 90% of that jury pool has had damages and likely has had problems with their insurance company. Or you're going to have very sympathetic judges who are part of, you're part of the electorate, part of that.
Elected judges,
yeah, the elected judges that are going to say, hey, look, you better come up with some money. We're going to hit you pretty hard. You better pay this bad faith claim. So the good news is if you get a substantial portion of your claim in the appraisal process, then you still can go in and file that claim in state court and stay in state court. They can't remove it to federal court.
And then you can get started on fixing your house rather than waiting for that couple of years. Because some people get SBA loans. Some people get SBA loans and use the SBA loan till the insurance proceeds come through, but you're losing some money on some points and some interest. But this is a way of accommodating both. And we're sort of done implementing this strategy. And actually, the insurance companies are taking notice, and they're asking, "Oh, can we mediate first now?" Because they understand that they're sort of in a trick bag there. So I always say, the insurance companies make the rules. You got to figure out how to beat them at their own rules, from our perspective. And that's what we try to do. All right, let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
Celebrating a century of broadcasting. For 100 years, WWL Radio has been here for you when it matters most. Here's another moment in history.
It was May of 2000.
Whatever consequences flow from this, I'm prepared to face.
Louisiana's only four-term governor, Edwin Edwards, on his third trial in federal court, was convicted on a wide variety of corruption charges.
The Chinese have a saying that if you sit by the river long enough, the dead body of your enemy will come floating down the river. I suppose the feds sat by the river long enough, so here comes my body.
Jurors found Edwards guilty of rigging the Riverboat Casino gambling license process, and he was sentenced to a decade in federal prison.
This moment in history brought to you by TrainSouth.com and Home Bank.
Okay, you'll have a neighborhood of 3 minutes to tie things up.
That your payment was processed, your check deposited, your business handled. At Home Bank, we offer the technology you need to have peace of mind wherever you are. So go on, roam, wander. You have the freedom. With Home Bank's mobile app and account notifications, you'll never have to wonder what's happening with your money. We have the tech you expect and the service you deserve. For over 114 years, we've been good for business, good for life. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Tulane Greenway Baseball hosts the Memphis Tigers for their final regular season series of the year, Thursday, May 19th through Saturday, the 21st. Make sure you get out to Greer Field at Turchin Stadium to catch the wave one more time. Tickets start at just $5 each. To be in our number, purchase your tickets now by calling 504-861-WAVE or head online to TulaneTix.com. Roll Wave!
Odyssey is currently accepting applications for all of our local radio stations, including WWL. We also invite college students to apply for internships.
A short one after Babel, and we'll go live.
In a career in radio or an internship, please visit odysseyinc.com/careers or call 504-526-3000. Odyssey is dedicated to providing a broad outreach regarding job vacancies at our stations. Organizations that wish to receive our job postings are invited to contact us at 504-526-3000. Odyssey is an equal opportunity employer.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 475-2323.
LA 121-12674. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Call 475-2323.
Hey, Slidell, we want your stuff. DependableStorage.com.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have time. Then I discovered Babbel. Me llamo Sean.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take
Hey,
like
Doug,
10 or
how long
15
we gonna
minutes,
have?
and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
Hey, Doug.
I love that Babbel
Yeah, I'm here.
aren't just robots talking.
How long are we going to have
They're
after the
voiced
break?
by native
3 minutes.
so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel, évidemment. Go to babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
We're all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. May is National Bike Month, so use your bike instead of your car or for a little bit of exercise. Join Odyssey, and together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
Now, more All Things Legal, underwritten by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. All advice given and opinion shared are solely those of attorneys Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri. Back to WWL.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. You can call us at a law firm if you got any questions at 504-837-1304, 504-837-1304, North Shore 985-624-9697. Albert, you got about 2.5 minutes. Anything as far as wrapping up what we talked about today?
I do. I just got sent in the mail this past week a judgment I got in a construction case against a unscrupulous contractor who he was using non-licensed subcontractors to do the work, didn't file for a permit to do for the plumbing work, and of course these are all violations of the contractor's licensing law. And so we got a judgment against him for a pretty substantial amount. We also got a judgment against his company and a judgment against him personally, since it was considered contractor fraud, that he committed fraud in attempting to gain an advantage over our clients because he did not pay for properly licensed plumbing contractors, framers, etc., and was able to put more money in his pocket as a result, to the detriment of our client, who had the work done by non-licensed plumbers, non-licensed, HVAC, et cetera, et cetera. So, so now, of course, it's a question of collecting the judgment, but it was a very good result. And contractors beware, homeowners beware. Make sure that your contractor is licensed. In this case, he was. But he was hiring unlicensed subs, which is a violation of law.
Was this in the mediation, or was this in court?
Oh no, this was tried in Jefferson Parish before Judge Enright.
Okay.
And it was a couple $100,000 in total damages. So I got attorney's fees and everything else for the contractor fraud. So,
it was a judge trial or jury trial?
Judge trial, and it was against the contract individually as well. So he's and if you get a judgment against you individually for fraud, you can't discharge it in bankruptcy. So you can't just file bankruptcy.
It chases you to the grave and thereafter, even after you're gone.
Exactly.
Yeah. Gotcha. Well,
congrats. My understanding got $2. So
all right.
I hope to be able to work something out with him or try to pull the judgment. So there is justice.
Every once in a while. All right. Well, that's a wrap. We'll be back next week on All Things Legal. Y'all have a wonderful week. And we'll be back, talk the same. Stay tuned for LSU Ole Miss at 12:30. First pitch, 1 o'clock. No, pregame 12:30. First pitch, 1 o'clock. Starting picture, who knows? So we'll see you next week on All Things Legal. Have a great afternoon, Albert. We'll see you then.
Take care.